Hi sewing friends, my name is Beth, and today in my sewing room I'm working on block number 9 of the Pink Stars Quilt Along. We have one more block in this short series of quilt blocks. I'm making a sampler quilt, and this is a really pretty classic block. The star points are pink, the little squares are mustard, and I have some background fabric. And today I'm working outside because my house has some construction going on inside, so I thought I'd bring it all outdoors, and it was a really pretty day to work outside. I just had to get that ironing board and iron and my little featherweight machine out to the patio table, and I was all set. So first, after pressing my fabric, and as you can see, I've got my husband's shirt there. I'm still using some of that for my quilt blocks. I cut my pieces. So this is a 3.5 inch wide strip that I'll cut into 4.5 inch segments. And I hope you can't hear too much of that background noise, but the show must go on. So 3.5 by 4.5, 4 times. I'll need 4 of these rectangles. After cutting my pink rectangles, I cut 4 squares, 3.5 inch squares of my background fabric. Then all I need are 2 strips, 2-inch strips, one with the mustard color and one with the background fabric, that are maybe 20.5 inches long. I need 20 little squares from each of those strips, but you'll see. And it is such a pretty day to work outside. Here you can see my setup with my tripod, my machine, and all the scraps. After getting my things cut, I'm going to make my 4 patches with these strips, these 2-inch strips, and I need 5 4 patches. So I put my 2 strips together, I will press to the darker fabric, and then I will cut this long strip into 2-inch segments, and since I have 4 patches, I need 10 little segments, 2-inch segments for my 4 patches. I made sure that the 4 patches were exactly 3.5 inches. They should have been exactly that, but they weren't, so sometimes things don't come out exact when you're sewing seams together. So I put my 4 rectangles together, and I have this pink fabrics face up, and I am cutting 2 rectangles opposite directions so that I will have 4 triangles of each different. These are the star points. So I have 4 of each, and then I have my background fabric. And to get those star points on there, I'm going to use the method I used earlier in this series. I'll press with my finger the center of that square. I'll use a pencil, and I will mark a 1/4 inch up from the edge. Then I'm going to take my ruler, and from corner to right through that little marked 1/4 inch dot on the bottom, I'll draw a line, and that will be my guideline. And if you have fabric that is not woven like a shirt here, you'll need to put these markings on the back, because we're going to be, well, I'll show you in a minute. I marked all my squares, and then I took my star points and there's the back. I need to turn it over, and I laid my star point out, and I can see that line through the fabric, and I centered the star point. I have a lot of excess. Those pink star points are quite a bit bigger than I need. Then I sewed right through the line, and I opened it up to make sure that I'm covering that triangle area, and I am. Then I need to trim right along the edge. I didn't have all of my supplies out, That rotary cutter over there in the video you can see isn't my sharp one, and I didn't have it with me out on the patio, so I just used my scissors, and I'll do that on the other side. I'll sew right along the pencil line, and I'll make sure that it covers, and it does, and then I will trim. And you could also press at this point. And I just finger pressed, but you could also take it over to your ironing board and press that open. And you can leave the background in there. You can leave the backing fabric. It will just be a little bit thicker. Different people prefer different methods, and I usually try to trim behind, but I don't always trim that fabric behind. Now that I have my star points all ready, we are ready to put our block together with the star points on the outsides, and then the 4 patches sort of make a line going through. They're all going the same direction, even in the corners. You can kind of see that imaginary line going through the 4 patches. And now we just need to sew all those pieces together, and we will have our star block ready to go. So I'll be making 2 of these, and next week I'll be back with the last one. I'll also try to add a blog post with a link below with the instructions written out with some little photographs. So if you prefer to look there, do that. But thank you for joining me. It's always nice to sew with you, and it was really fun to come outside today and do some sewing. And I'll see you next time.